All right, guys, so I don't talk about climate change all that much on this channel. And one of the reasons why is because I don't think it's all that important of an issue. I don't think that it's an issue that us sitting around debating about is ever going to really change anything, because it is a global issue. And also, one of the reasons why I don't talk about it is because I'm a moderate on this issue, right? And because I'm a moderate on this issue, everybody is going to hate me, right, and my stances and opinions on this, because I do believe that man-made climate change is real. I think that humans are contributing to an accelerated pace of climate change. Okay, I do believe that. However, I don't believe, like the progressives and some people in the Democrat Party, that we need to restructure our whole economy in a way that is green, right, to try to combat climate change or to try to reverse the effects of climate change. I don't think that's possible, right? I don't think that's going to happen. And I think anybody that's talking like that is really just talking out of their butt, right? They don't know what they're talking about, and they're living in a pipe dream, right? It's never going to happen. I think ultimately at the end of the day, technology and innovation will help solve the problem. And I don't think we need to hinder our economy in order to do that. But what I do think is that we should prepare for the potential effects of climate change. For example, coastal areas like Florida, areas that we know for a fact, sea levels are rising. We should definitely prepare our infrastructure for that. And that's something that Governor Ron DeSantis has been doing, right? Which is why I really kind of respect him, because, that the state like Florida is a state that, is supposed to, get the brunt of the effect over time. Again, I'm not a doomsday person. I don't believe it's doomsday. I just think that it's one of those things that, is happening, and it's best to prepare and adapt rather than try to reverse, right? Or to try to prevent something from happening that would take a global effort to do that I don't think is going to happen, right? So I'm essentially a moderate on this topic, which again means that both sides hates my position on this. But I'm gonna react to this video from Campus Reform, in which they're talking to college students about climate change and how they feel about it. And it just shows you how much of a pipe dream world they're living in when it comes to this subject, because they are the loudest about this subject. However, they're unwilling to do anything about it, right? They're unwilling to actually do their part. But it's not like them doing their part actually means anything, and they know it doesn't mean anything. And it's just hilarious to see how they demand change, but yet when it comes to changing their own behaviors, they are unwilling to do so, right? Matter of fact, some people walk off the interview, right? Because they don't really want to do anything about it. So without further ado, let's actually get into this video and react to these kids and their views on climate change.
With Campus Reform. Today we're talking with students at Georgetown University about climate change. How far are students willing to go to combat this crisis? Are they willing to give up basic household items and basic activities such as traveling in an airplane or traveling by car in an effort to combat climate change? Let's find out. How important is climate change to you and combating it, fighting against it? How important is that to you?
Well, climate change is like everything. When you live, you need to have a clear air and a clear environment.
Look, she's holding the phone, right? Climate change is important to her, but she's holding a phone that uses rare earth materials like lithium and cobalt, which are terrible for the environment, right? Phones made in factories that use fossil fuel, right? Which, contributes to emissions. Okay. I'm just making a point here that our whole lives, in regards to technology, our energy is all a part of the issue, right? But, these people say that this issue is important to them. However, they're directly contributing to this problem, right? In obvious ways, that is.
Environment, so it's one of the basic things to leave.
I think it's really important because the climate's something that we live in and we thrive on, so it's something we need to protect.
I mean, it directly affects us, and everything around us, so I think, I don't think people have been doing enough for it.
Very important and very pressing, and it should be talked about more.
I agree, it's very important and should be taken more seriously, and it upsets me. I agree with what they said, and then it upsets me that it's been politicized so much.
Do you think we should be doing everything in our power as individuals to try and combat it?
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Yeah,
even us, like when you see, like it's very important. So why not? Like this shouldn't be even a question.
Again, cell phone.
It'll
All them cell phones.
directly
Every
affect
single last
us.
one of them.
So we should be doing everything we can.
Okay.
I agree with that, yeah.
Biden released a plan for climate change trying to combat the crisis. Would you support a plan like that?
I bet they all have cars, right? I guarantee you they all have cars that burn gasoline, right? I guarantee you. They all do. I guarantee you none of them have Teslas. And even they had Teslas, right? The building of Teslas is contributing to the problem as well. So again, you know, this subject is just funny to me, right? And how people talk about it.
Yes.
Generally would follow it if it did things correctly and such.
Yes, he mentioned that in his speech at Congress, correct?
Yeah, definitely, since it's such a big issue right now.
Yeah, I would definitely support any plan to try and help it.
We're going around today with some pledges, asking students to vow to do 3 simple things in support of Biden's climate change plan. So if you're willing to vow to do all of these 3 things, we're going to ask you to sign the pledge at the end. So you guys vow to stop all personal air travel, so never use an airplane, especially international travel. Do you guys pledge to eat a cold dinner 3 times a week to decrease how many times you use your stove?
Look at her face. Look at her face, bro. Her eyebrows went up when she heard that she had to eat cold dinners, right? You got to eat cold dinners. You got to save power, right? You got to stop burning those fossil fuels. See, these people don't understand what it takes to do the things that they say they want, right? They don't want to go back to the Stone Ages, right? They want to live in the modern age, right? It reminds me of these people that always claim they hate America so much. You hate America so much, but yet you want people to come to this country, right, from foreign lands, right, to this place where you say that people are oppressed and life is so terrible, but you want everybody to come here. And you also won't leave, right? You care about climate change so much, but when you hear about what you need to do, right, in your personal life to reduce your carbon footprint, eyebrows get raised.
Because that creates carbon emissions. And would you guys commit to living somewhere where you can only use a bike? So you would have to sell your car, you would have to bike to work and to school every single day. If you guys vow to do all 3 of these things, you guys can sign the pledge. But if you guys don't...
I'm sorry, we have to go.
Okay.
Again, the girl that had her eyebrows raised, right? The girl that obviously was like, I don't know about this. She's the one that's like, oh, we gotta go. Bro, you cannot make this up, bro. You cannot make this up. Yeah. We should do everything that we can to combat climate change. Okay, can you do these 3 things, right? Could you not take planes? Can you eat cold dinners? And can you also ride a bike? I don't know about that. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta catch a bus, right? Another vehicle that burns, that contributes. But hey, you know, technically it's better than riding an individual car. So I don't know.
Thank you.
Yes, we'll keep that in mind though.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Thank you so much. I have to fly down to school. Okay, I won't be able to do that. So.
Yeah, I think it's not too difficult.
So you would never fly a plane ever again?
I mean, that one could be a little.
No, he is gonna fly a plane every day. He can't commit to that, right? He can't commit to that. He know he's gonna be flying a plane.
Difficult.
Would you be willing to do all 3 of these things? You know, never travel on an airplane again and never use a car, eat cold dinners, in an effort to combat climate change?
Yes, for a given amount of time.
But for the rest of your life?
Probably not. I travel a lot, so it's going to be difficult.
Oh yeah, what your needs, right? Your needs come before everybody else, right? But yet these are the same people that advocate for policies that is gonna put other people's individual needs above society, right? But when it comes to them sacrificing for society as a whole, I don't know about that. Probably not. Again, it reminds me of these politicians like John Kerry, right? Who's, you know, always talking about climate change, but yet he's flying a private jet everywhere, right? He never wants to fly commercial, but yet he's flying a jet purely just for himself, right? He's not even trying, right? He's not even trying to help from an individual standpoint, but he wants you to decrease your standard of living for the sake of climate change. Again, these people are hypocrites, right? They're not serious about this issue. which is why this conversation is a joke.
How else, like, like, where would I, like, go? How would I get around,
I'll be eating cold dinner 3 times a week to decrease the time usage of stove.
What about the other ones?
Maybe not.
I definitely can vow to do the first one. However, I don't know about the second because it'd be difficult finding meals that don't require cooking. And for the third, that's a long distance bike ride that I'd have to travel.
Living closer to places where you can bike and cities are actually very expensive.
Looking at this plan, a lot of politicians are pushing for this. Obviously, President Biden created it. Do you think they're going to be the ones to stop their plane travel and to stop using cars? Or do you think they're going to continue to do the same thing while they ask other Americans to stop?
I think they're going to continue doing the same thing. It's annoying.
Smartest answer I've seen all
because if they're
interview.
wanting us to stop, why don't they stop too?
It's not fair. That's selfishness for me. I don't know. That's how I understand it.
Again, like, if they're going to expect us to do it, then expect everyone to do it, and make it accessible for people not to be able to do it,
It seems like they're flying all over, so I would say it's pretty hypocritical for them to say that all Americans should stop when they're not.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Yeah. This is why I told you guys this issue, I don't talk about it that much because it's just one of those issues, like it doesn't matter if we talk about it, right? It's one of those things that the politicians aren't going to change their habits. It would take a global effort, right? Even if the US reduced their emissions to zero, right? Net zero. Unless China's on board with it, unless India's on board with it, Europe's on board with it, unless the whole world is on board with it, it's not going to do a damn thing. Right. So that's why I don't really talk about it. I don't really care about this issue that much because to me, it just seems to be a pointless conversation at this point. Right. From a domestic policy standpoint, I do think our most vulnerable areas, we should definitely work to make sure that those areas are taken care of, and also to make sure our farming and means of production for food, we can adjust those things. Again, this is primarily using technology so that we can continue to feed people just in case certain areas of the country become less capable of growing food, right? Just in case that happens, which these are technologies that are currently being developed in the private sector, right? To do that, which honestly is a big part of like the space industry, right? If people didn't know that, like a lot of the investments in space is satellites to help kind of pick out which farmland is best, right, as the climate changes over time. Again, there's all types of private sector stuff going on with this, okay, which I think is really going to be the answer to the whole climate change question in regards to adapting, right? Adaption is kind of what my big thing is. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.